this looks weird. Okay, something like that. Alright, let's do this. Let's do this. Let's do this. Okay. Hi there. I hope you're having a fantastic day and welcome to my first ever YouTube video. My name is Stefan Bosch and I'm a filmmaker from Sweden who recently took the step to become a freelancer and start my own business after working several years as a video producer at a production company. I wanted to make this video for a couple of different reasons. The camera that we're going to look at in a moment is not just a new camera for me to step up my video production game. I also see this camera as kind of as a symbol for a new chapter in my career, if that makes sense. But I'm excited. I've been waiting for it for like 3 months. And also because this is my first real YouTube video. I'm really not comfortable talking to the camera. This is like a second or maybe third time in my life in front of the camera. Apologize if this comes off as a bit stiff. I'm well, quite rusty and all right, sorry about the rant. Back to what you actually came here for. Okay, so we have, of course, some media, the notoriously expensive CF Express Type A cards. I just bought one because, and of course the card reader also. Let's see, it's the first time I do this kind of thing, an unboxing. I just thought it would be fun to check what's inside and maybe walk you through my thought process on why I chose this camera for the kind of work that I do and want to do. I have worked with the Sony FX5 and the FX7 quite a bit, especially with the FX5 for the last couple of years. So I am a bit familiar with the layout and the form factor of this camera. But let's get in this before I talk too much. I'm never going to get through this video if I continue this way, sorry. Okay, it's actually, yeah, a little bit thicker than the Sony FX5, I think. But overall, it feels very familiar, yeah. This one is very cool. Put it over here. Ah, right. The most fun part, the cables, right? It's a USB to USB-C and the power cord for the AC adapter, I think. And of course the AC, fun stuff. All right, the manual. 1 year extended warranty if I register the product. That I will do. These are, I think, the battery plate. Ah, this is the charger. And I think this is, right, this is the sun hood for the viewfinder. Right. Yeah, so this is the monitor. Oh. Yeah, this rotating arm here is really handy. I really do like it, especially on this one, because you can, yeah, with this screw over here, you can pretty much mount it wherever you want on the body. Cool. And here we have the battery, right? Yeah, the BPU 30 or 35. Yeah, the BPU 35. I wonder if it's charged. Probably not, but would be nice to be able to take a quick look at the menu and start it up. Dead. All right, so this is the top handle. Yeah, it feels good. It's actually a little bit heavier than I thought, which is a good thing because I'm planning on rigging this camera up a bit to get a bit more heft to it when shooting handheld and that kind of stuff. I actually ordered the Tilta cage for this camera with the V-mount battery system and all that stuff. It's the Tilta cage I'm kind of going to build this camera up around. I will be using this handle though, because as some of you probably know, the XLR ports are right here and there's no audio input on the actual camera body, which is a little bit of a shame. It's actually pretty much the only thing that I don't like about this camera is that it doesn't have any kind of audio input on the body. So if you want to fly this thing on a gimbal or maybe strip it down to be even smaller and need audio, that's, well, kind of a bummer. But most of the time I'm going to use this. And I think we are, oh yeah. Moment of truth. Yeah, it's not heavy at all. I think my Sony A7III with the cage and the handle on I have right now is probably about the same weight. Oh, it's actually, this was lighter, without a lens of course, but still. Oh, all right. Oh. Just going to hold it up here in the light, see if you can see it. I do like this gray kind of gunmetal finish on it. Older Sonys are all black, you know. This one's a little bit more unique, cinema line color. It definitely is very familiar for someone who has used the FS5 a lot. I think the body is a little bit wider, but yeah, it's very similar. And that's a good thing. That's one of the things I really liked about the FS5 was the form factor, and with the fact that it's still a cinema video production body with all the professional video features and ports and all that stuff. And this one actually has quite a bit more. It does have a time code in or out. So that's really handy when, especially when working with multi-camera setups. And then we have the media goes in here, and it's actually the same module that the Sony A7III has, which takes both normal SD cards and also the new CF Express Type A Sony cards, the one that I have here. And you do need this one to be able to capture all the formats in highest resolution and the highest frame rates, like the 4K 120 in XAVC all intra codec, which is amazing. One thing about the codec that's really nice about this camera compared to the Sony A7S Mark III, for example, is that the container on this one is the MXF file system instead of the MP4. So MXF files they're a breeze working with. That's what I loved about the FS5s and the FS7 too, compared to my Sony A7III, which uses the standard MP4 with H.264 compression. A proper heatsink. This guy will not overheat on you anytime soon. And Sony says it's actually still pretty water resistant, even with this bare bone big ass heatsink over here. And the ports, we do have the SDI and an HDMI port. One thing that's very nice with this camera is that the processor is actually powerful enough to be able for you to be able to output from the SDI and the HDMI at the same time, depending on the format and resolution, all that, of course. But that means I could be outputting from HDMI to my external monitor, and then I, at the same time, could be sending the SDI signal out to another monitor for like a client or a camera assistant that pulls focus or something like that. And when it comes to pulling focus, the monitor you want to send the signal out should be connected to the SDI, because the SDI generally has a better latency than the HDMI. Just a tip. Put this thing away so we have a little bit more space. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. All right, so of course one of the biggest reasons I got this camera is the internal ND system, which is absolutely amazing on this one. And it's pretty much the same one that the FS5 has. So the FS5 has this one too. It's not exactly the same, but it does kind of work the same way. You have the maybe if I hold it this way, you can see it better. You can use it as a normal internal ND system with stops if you want, or you can use the seamless scroll over here. Third option is that you can actually just put it to auto, and it will pretty much hold the exposure for you. You just set the exposure and choose the depth of field you want and just put it on auto, and it should be, it should just, yeah, maintain that exposure. So I'm very excited about testing that out. Then you have 3 custom buttons on the body here. Then we have 2 more custom buttons on the handle, top handle, and on the side handle we have 1, 2, and yeah, a 3rd one here as well. That I remember from the FS5. All right, so the side handle, it's bayonet style mount, I think. Yeah, it's the same as the FS5, so just pretty much the same way you would put on a lens. Just align the markers and just, yeah, it clicks into place. And what's really nice about this, you have like a little switch here that you hold, so that you can, when you hold it, you can reposition pretty much which way you want the side handle. If you would need to shoot something from high up, for example, and down, you could just reposition it, and you have a really comfortable grip on it, even if you have to shoot something like this, or the other way around, of course. Underslung. Well, not really underslung, but you know, from under. Yeah, let's take a look at the sensor, right? Oh yeah, don't know if you can see it. The full frame sensor is also one of the bigger reasons I chose this camera. I think I will be doing a, in the video where I will be going a little bit more in depth into why I chose this camera over some other cameras I was looking at, like the Red Komodo also, and also the Blackmagic 6K was also a contender. I mean, I have shot with Sony camera mostly, and I've had my Sony A7III and the A7S Mark II before that, but I wasn't really locked into the Sony ecosystem necessarily, because I only had like one Sony lens until now. When I got this camera, I did get me a Sigma 24mm f1.4, which is the one I'm using on the A7S, I mean the A7III right now, to record this. Before that, I only had my Sigma 24-70 2.8. I will be putting this on the FX6, but first let's put on the top handle. Yeah, I will find that later. So yeah, this is the connection for the top handle, all the functions here, and also the XLR ports. All right, that's top handle. I really like the ergonomics of this top handle though. I do like to work with a top handle mostly. The sign handle is nice too, especially if you're like shooting like this, holding it against your body. It's really nice, and you have all the extra custom buttons and stuff, record button and that kind of stuff. A zoom rocker if you use a zoom lens, and maybe I should plug in the side handle too. All right, like that. So we have the viewfinder. For now, I will put it in its designated place on the top handle. All right, that's what it looks like with the viewfinder on. This cable should go right in, goes in only one way, and that seems to be just about right. And it's still very light. I mean, the only thing left now is a lens. So of course that's going to give it a bit more heft, which I do want, because I am planning on rigging this camera up quite a bit. I have ordered a Tilta cage for it, which I'm going to build it around with a V-mount adapter, or like the module for the V-mount batteries. So yeah, let's put on the Sigma 24-70 on this guy. See how it looks. All right. Yeah, it's definitely a bit hefty now, but I think it's still too light. It's nice to have it light when you need it. I do work a lot with handheld movements, so I will be rigging this up more, as I said. Let's put in a battery to get a little bit more balanced weights in the back. Well, this battery is very small, so this is also one of the reasons why I wanted a V-mount battery module and a V-mount battery here, because with this lens, which is a pretty big and heavy lens, especially when zoomed out. The center of gravity is very forward leaning. With that V-mount battery and tilt cage and everything, it will be a little bit more balanced, which is nice, especially for handheld stuff. Forgot to put on the sun hood. It's pretty cool. These hinges are a little bit fragile, but yeah, pretty handy. So yeah, one thing happened. My Sony A7III stopped recording after 30 minutes, you know, because of the 30-minute recording limit on the camera. And I didn't realize that after 10 minutes of babbling on about the FX6. And then I had to go on an errand, so I didn't have time to finish the video. So this is actually the day after what you have seen until now. I think the video would have been too long anyway, so at least looking at it from the bright side, I did manage to charge the battery, so now we can actually start it up. See if it works. Would have been fun if it didn't work. Oh wow. Alright, so the startup is really fast. The FS5 is pretty slow. It takes like, don't remember exactly, but around 10 seconds to boot up properly. So this was a pleasant surprise. Yeah, this is the Sony FX6. Very excited to start using it on actual productions. So yeah, that was it, guys. Hope it wasn't too rough. It's my first YouTube video after all. Well, could be the second uploaded, but the first one that I shot. So please be nice. I will be doing a lot more videos regarding the FX6, hopefully some behind the scenes and that kind of stuff. And as soon as I get the tilt cage for it, I will be making a video showing how I will be building this up as a cinema rig. So if you're interested in that kind of content, maybe consider subscribing and also hit the notification bell down below. And yeah, thank you so much for watching. I'll see you around. Bye.